them. Um, what we can say about Necromancer is it's a very flexible class. We have 2 melee builds and 2 ranged builds. The Corpse Lance build is a ranged build, of course. And there's a couple of specific pieces that you need, of course. Like, let's take a look at our talents first. This is obviously the best, even though Decrepify, Borrowed Time, like the most recommended rune is Dizzying Curse. I personally prefer Borrowed Time because you gain 1% cooldown reduction for every enemy curse to a maximum of 20%, which is really good for Land of the Dead. Right? These are your best runes. What Draw Life it does is it increases your life regeneration by 10% for each enemy within 20 yards. So it kind of encourages you to play a little bit close. One of the things that's really good about this build is the fact that with the set piece, let me find it here, the Traggles guys, or the Traggles avatar, the 2 set makes it to where Blood Rush gains the effect of every single rune. And the 4 piece makes it to where when you're at full life, your healing from skills is added to your maximum life for 45 seconds up to 100% more. So effectively, with my gear, I can have close to a 2 million health pool. Now, even though that these 2 do more damage, I have the best in slot weapon, which is better. Like, just the passives on it are better. Now, what are the main legendaries you want? Well, let's take a look at the cube, eh? Where is that motherfucking thing? Okay, here it is. Okay, for the cube, you want, well, one of the things you want equipped, since you're running with the Ring of Royal Grandeur in your jewelry slot, you want the Moribund Gauntlets, which makes it to where your golem sheds a corpse every second, which is really good for this build. Another thing you want, let's see if I can find it here, is the Corpse Whisper Pauldrons. Let's see, yep, right here. Your Corpse Lance damage is increased by 30% for 3 seconds whenever you consume a corpse. It's a max of 20 stacks. So you can see how powerful that is, yeah? And your weapon slot, it's going to be all the way in the back or somewhere. Come on, where is it? Okay. Not that one. Not that one either. Where is that damn thing? Okay, there it is. Traggle's Corroded Fang makes it to where the Cursed Scythe rune for Grim Scythe now has a 100% chance to apply a curse, and you deal 200% increased damage to cursed enemies. That's going to be the thing you want in your cube. Personally, that's more of a build thing mainly for, like, oh, I don't know, the build to actually use Grim Scythe for Corpse Scythe or Grim Scythe, whatever the hell it is. But yeah, that's the one you want in your weapon slot. Your ring, obviously, is the Ring of Royal Grandeur, because they're your 2 best pieces that you want, well, because you only want 5 pieces of the set. So you want the chest piece for Traggle, you want the gloves and the shoulders, and the helmet, and obviously the pants and boots. From there, your offset is going to be your off-piece is the Moribund's Gauntlets, and the amulet that you want is the Johnstone, which makes it where each corpse consumed in Land of the Dead grants a stack of Macabre Knowledge. Macabre Knowledge increases the damage of Corpse Lance and Corpse Explosion by 150 to 200% while outside of the Land of the Dead. And that's really, really good. The legendary gems you want are the Molten Wildebeest Gizzard, Esoteric Alteration, and Moratorium. If you don't have Moratorium, then Enforcers is still decent because it scales your Blood Golem's damage. But at the same time, each build uses different gems for the most part. Okay, let's see what we're at here. I'll probably end up having to do some greater rifts, of course. I guess the main thing that you really want to keep in mind when you play the Necromancer is to make sure that you got all your gems, yeah? Like, I don't have the moratorium that I know of. Let me check. I have Taguk, but I don't... Necromancer really doesn't have any spells that channel. Yep, there it is. Okay. So, I'm going to do some greater rifts later, get all the gems I need. And, like, even though I am running with the Compass Rose and Traveler's Pledge, I do fully intend to either, if I get, like, a terrible roll of the Morbid's Gauntlets, I'm just going to, like, just scrap them and just put them in the cube for this build. How do I edit gems? Okay, here. Alright. The esoteric alteration I need to get it up higher, so it's going to be a run of Nephilim Rifts later. But, the Corpse Lance build is actually a very strong build right now. I believe it's ranked as high tier solo progression, or solo pushing build. And that's pretty good. Like, if a high leaderboard position without strict adherence to the meta is attractive to you, consider it. Builds is oriented mostly at solo rifting, greater than normal, due to its mediocre mobility on long distances. It's not recommended for bounties. It's also not recommended for group greater rifts past the point where every party member can handle the content on its own. To go in depth on the skills, that's going to take a while, but for the most part, your gems and Paragon points, I believe, I could be wrong, of course. Okay. I guess we can talk a little bit about business slot gear. You're equipping, since you're only equipping 5 of the 6 available Trigal's Avatar set pieces, you're leaving only 1 slot for a synergistic legendary armor piece, and using a Ring of Royal Grandeur in the cube to reduce the required amount of items for the set bonus completely by 1, which is the mandatory set pieces are Trigal's Guise, Trigal's Scales, Trigal's Hide, and Trigal's Stalwart Griefs. Depending on your worn legendary item of choice, you'll either replace Trigal's Claws or Trigal's Heart in your finalized setup. Rolls wise, screw that.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm actually doing a stream for the Necromancer.
Doing a stream, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you be.
No, I mean, I'm almost finished. I can work on it later.